Did you know that the drinks that we drink on a daily basis can actually be associated with various medical conditions such as excessive weight gain, obesity, diabetes, cardiac disease, kidney disease, liver disease, gout, as well as dental cavities? Now the list can go on. However, in today's video, I'm going to focus on which beverages can be associated with an increased risk of dental cavities. So I'm going to cover 5 beverages that are terrible for your teeth. I'm going to tell you exactly why they're bad for your teeth, as well as what you can do to prevent damage from them. Plus, these beverages are just as bad whether you're a child or an adult. So these apply to your little ones as well as to the rest of your family. So make sure you watch this video till the end because I can guarantee you'll learn something new from this. Now, before we dive into this topic, I just want to say your support goes a long way. I never need you to buy a single item from me. All I need is you to support the channel and the journey by hitting that subscribe button and putting your notifications on. Now, if you do learn something from this, please share this with your friends and family and don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Now, before we get into those 5 drinks, I want to tell you exactly why you can get cavities from what you drink. Firstly, if your drink has a high amount of sugar, that sugar will be taken by the cavity-causing bacteria, broken down into acid, and lead to cavity. If you want to learn more about cavities, I have a video for that. Make sure you check it out. Now, not only is it the sugar, but it's also the acidity of your drinks. The more acidic your drinks, the more likely they will break down the enamel and therefore lead to cavities. Last but not least, the carbonation in your beverages is also an acidic component and will actually erode the enamel and lead to cavity formation. In short, sugar, acidic, and carbonation are all terrible for your teeth. And now it's time for the 5 beverages that you should be cutting down or avoiding if you want to reduce the risk of cavities. First beverage on the list is chocolate milk. Honestly, it tastes real good. I used to drink a lot of it when I was younger, but to be honest, a glass like this has about 24 grams of sugar. That's a whole lot of sugar. And yes, I know milk has its benefits. However, lactose, which is the sugar in milk, eventually gets broken down into glucose, which is what's going to cause cavities. Plus, because of its sticky consistency, it actually sticks onto your teeth, continuously providing the sugar to the surface of your teeth. Now it's time to check the pH. I got myself a pH meter and we're gonna give this a test. Let's check what it is. Let's give it a couple of seconds, and the verdict is 6.7. This pH is actually not that acidic, but its high sugar content as well as its sticky nature is what makes chocolate milk not a favorable drink. Next up on the list is one of the beverages that most kids actually end up drinking, and it's probably the worst for their teeth. Yes, you guessed it, apple juice. Apple juice is actually one of the most popular juices among kids. This beverage is actually consumed by kids as early as 1 year old. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, a child should not have more than 4 ounces of juice per day. If your children are having more than this, you want to start cutting down as soon as possible. Let's look at the amount of sugar in this cup of apple juice. That cup right there has about 24 grams of sugar. That's a whole lot of sugar, pretty much the same amount as that chocolate milk. Now it's time to test its pH. Let's give it some time, a few seconds. And right there, we've seen that the pH has dropped to 3.44. Actually, it's still dropping, 3.4. Therefore, it's evident apple juice is highly acidic. Actually, most juices out there are highly acidic. Plus, by juicing, whether you're doing it at home or buying store-bought fresh juice, you're actually getting rid of all the fibers and all the nutrients in the actual fruit. It's almost always better to eat the fruit than drink its juice. All right, guys, next up is probably one of most adults' favorite drinks, and that is soft drinks. Soft drinks are highly consumed amongst the teenage population as well as adults. So let's get right into it. I'm just gonna take any soft drink, and the first thing I noticed is the carbonation. Carbonation, in fact, is actually going to damage your teeth because it is acidic in nature. Next up is the sugar content. A can of soft drink actually has anywhere between 35 to 40 grams of sugar. That's almost double the amount of sugar that we saw in both apple juice and chocolate milk. So high sugar content, carbonation, which leads to the acidity, and let's just do a pH test for fun. The lowest it hit was 2.28. 2.28 is far more acidic than the juices we saw, plus even way more acidic than the chocolate milk that we saw. So this is why soft drinks are terrible for your teeth. Whether it's the sugar content, whether it's the acidic and carbonation nature, either way, you're going to lead to cavities. Now, some people ask me, what if I get rid of the sugar? So what if I have a beverage that has no sugar in it? So I took a sugar-free carbonated beverage. So going back to the same idea, the principle is that there's no sugar in this, which means you get rid of half the risk. However, it's still carbonated, so it's time to check its pH. And it's stuck at 3.63, 3.64. So it is definitely a little less acidic than the soft drink because the soft drink also had sugar. However, the carbonation still makes it an acidic beverage and therefore will still lead to damage to your teeth. The next beverage up is probably my favorite beverage and the only beverage that I actually have out of these 5 drinks. Yes, if you guessed it, it's a coffee. Most adults love coffee and have multiple cups per day. However, the problem with coffee is that usually you end up adding milk or sugar into it. Now, that milk and sugar will add further attacks to your teeth and therefore increase your risk of cavities. Now, if you're like me and you do have coffee black or with a splash of almond milk, and different types of coffees will exhibit different pH. So there is a range of pH. Now, for example, I took a cold brew here and I added a splash of almond milk in there. Let's see what its pH is going to be. Let's give it some time. After a few seconds, we see that the pH is 6.4. This coffee specifically is not very acidic, and therefore I'm reducing my risks of cavities. However, there are certain coffees that exhibit a much lower pH and therefore a much higher acidic content. So be careful when you're drinking coffee, and if you're adding milk and sugar to it, you're just increasing your risks of cavities. I'm sure that most of you drink at least one of these beverages in your day. So in order to reduce your risk of cavities when drinking these beverages, you want to start gradually reducing the amount you're drinking. Here are my tips when you are having these beverages so that you can reduce your risk of cavities. Number one, use a straw whenever possible. Number two, drink it in a shorter period of time, making your mouth's environment acidic for a shorter period of time. Number three, try to accompany or follow it with water. Number four, wait at least 30 to 45 minutes before you brush your teeth after having one of these beverages to prevent rubbing in the acidity and the sugar into your teeth, causing more enamel breakdown. Lastly, going cold turkey to eliminate these beverages is extremely hard, whether you're an adult or a child. So what I always recommend to my patients is that gradually decrease the amount of juice or milk that your child may be drinking. Over a few weeks, you'll gradually increase the amount of water consumption and decrease the amount of sweetened acidic beverage that you're consuming daily. There you have it. Those are the 5 most common beverages that people drink, but that also have damages to your health and more specifically, your teeth. Now, if you can't eliminate it, try to at least use the tips that I gave so you can reduce the risks of cavities and damages to your health. Now, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button and put your notifications on. Thank you for watching. Until next time.